Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we are checking out 3 new knives, or some knives coming soon, and then also a knife that's already out. We're just checking out 3 knives. So this is a prototype that you can be expecting sometime this year from Jake and Ryan over at Luft Knives. So they are the designers, and it is done by React. Now you can go and check out Ryan and Jake over at Bearded Gear Podcast. Now, this knife is an S90V steel with this dual ground clip point blade, beautiful grind, titanium frame lock, beautiful. Look at that pivot. Now that is an awesome looking pivot, very unique, nice milling and machining on the handle. The pocket clip actually works great. I know it looks a little weird, but it works great. And the cutouts on the inside, exactly how it should be. Now you'll notice it looks like it doesn't have a steel lock bar insert, but you can see it right here. It's just machined on the inside instead of the outside. So it does make it have a super clean look. There's no hardware on this side. The clip is screwed in right here, and then there's this other hardware right here. So it's a clamshell construction with, you know, very, very minimal hardware. And then when you add the pivot in there, man, yeah, super clean looking. The machining on the handle is done really deep, and it is very nice. Not only attractive, but, you know, it adds a little bit of texture. Let's talk about this action, because the action is amazing. I love the sound of it. Let's listen to the sound of it. Almost like a clunk. It's really cool. Really good sound. Love the sound. The lockup. Even with the slowest slow roll, it locks up perfectly. Rock solid lockup. Access to the lock bar, it could be better, but you know, they did give you something, and it is comfortable, but I prefer more. I prefer it to be cut back so I can come right from the side. This one you kind of got to go from the front and then at an angle, which is fine. It's just, you know, it is what it is. As far as ergos go, wow, is it comfortable. This is a knife, it doesn't matter what grip you have it in, it is very, very comfortable. And how this swells back, and it is a clamshell construction, it's not an integral, it's just, it fits so good. You see the line right there? But this little heel right here fits right in the crook of your hand so comfortably. You can choke up really nice for heavy duty cutting. You can turn it around, cut straps. Even though this isn't the best blade shape for cutting straps, it's pretty awesome. Lots of milling on the inside to bring down the weight, and the centering is perfection, and it better be, because you can see the line in between the 2 scales, and that tip lands right there, so it better be perfect. Now let's talk about a couple negatives really quick. One, I prefer having a better plunge grind. The plunge grind starts here and it ends right by the edge. I would prefer it to end back here so you have plenty of life to sharpen off, or add a sharpening notch. Either way, you can do it yourself because the stop pin is out of the way, so it's not that big of a deal. The next thing, this isn't my favorite blade shape for EDC. I mean, it's great for outdoors use and hunting and things like that, but when it comes to EDC use, I like a lower tip, because you see how in order for me to get to the tip, I have to raise my elbow all the way up. And the reason why I don't like that is, one, you use leverage up here, so you lose all the leverage to get like a really good, you know, deep utility cut. But 2, you have to use the belly. So instead of using the belly, which you wind up sacrificing this much edge instead of that much edge, right? Because when you do a utility cut, it's only that much of an edge. But if you have to use the belly, you're using a lot more edge. So it just, you know, helps your edge stay nice and sharp when you have a good lower tip. You can use this left-handed, but it's a little bit awkward. You kind of have to use the back of your thumb right back here, because it will lock you out if you put your thumb over it. You will not be able to do it. So you got to hold it up or back, and then it works. But, you know, it's a little bit awkward. So lefties, you're going to have a little bit of an issue. The detent is, man, it's so solid. Like I said, I love this pivot. It looks so good. Lots of great things about this. Oh yeah, and the action, the whole deployment, it's so easy to do. Like, it just lands in such a good spot, and the detent is exactly where you would want to. From if you're the type of person that loves doing a reverse flick, I think that this is an appropriate detent for most people. As far as a couple more negatives go, the only other thing I could say is I kind of wish there was better access to the lock bar, because, you know, I slip sometimes a little bit. It's not bad. Like I said, it is still comfortable, but I would just appreciate it to be a little bit better. So all in all, not my favorite blade shape. I wish there was a better plunge grind, and the access to the lock bar I wish was just a little bit cut out right there, but it's not that big of a deal, and it is still nice and comfortable. Awesome knife. Now these will be coming sometime this year, probably more towards the end. These are in prototype phase right now. Next one is the XL Synapse from Vero. What a beast. Let's look at the difference between these two. Look at this. What a beast. It is a big knife, and I didn't realize how much I would really like it, because even though it's a big knife, the action is stupid good. It's very easy to flick. The hole deployment for the reverse flick lands perfectly, and it's nice and big, and it's so good. Then you have good access to the lock bar, very smooth on the drop, and you have a comfortable flipper tab, so it is rounded and it's got good jimping, so all you gotta do is light switch it and it kicks. So very easy to deploy. You're not gonna fail this. It has great detent, great action. The blade is a beautiful drop point hand set and finished blade, an M390 steel. It's going to slice like a champ, especially with these ergos, because this is very comfortable ergos. You can get up nice and tight to the edge. You can choke back. It doesn't really matter. You can even spin it around and cut straps. Utility cuts are going to be okay. I wish the tip was a little bit lower, but they're still okay. You know, you can still get to them. You're not all the way up here at least. But it is really cool. It's big, but it's so wieldable. That's what I love about it. I love that, like, when you're using it, like, it feels so natural to use this knife with this size. Now, we have the smaller one, which is a lot more compact. It's more Kara size, and I love it. I love that size. Like, it's a great medium-sized knife. But this takes it over the top for people that like a little bit of a larger knife, because it's not too big, right? It's that nice large size that's very wieldable. It doesn't feel too big, but it does feel nice and big. Beautiful sharpening choil and plunge grind. Very smooth on the drop, as you can see. Stop pin is right there, so it's out of the way of the choil and everything. Nice landing zone when you do flick this. You know, they leave it kind of open right there, so nice comfortable flick. Like I said, good access to the lock bar. The clip, some people complain about this hump. I'm not gonna, because it doesn't bother me in my hand, at least on the big one. So I think it's fine, and it slips in and out of the pocket pretty good. It doesn't have like a crazy amount of tension, as you can see. So it slips in and out really good. So great job on that. Negatives. Let's talk about some negatives. Honestly, I don't think I have any. You know, just looking at it, it's done by Bestek. Bestek does a good job. Oh, no, I do have one. I have one complaint. I wish the hole was also over here, because I really want to thumb flick it. I love thumb flicking a knife. I like reverse flicking more, and I know it makes it look clean without it there, but I like the way it looks. So I wish the hole deployment was on this side as well. But they have a cross-cut carbon fiber one that looks fire, in my opinion. I love crosscut. I think that's my favorite type of carbon fiber is crosscut, even more than fat carbon, and I love fat carbon. Micarta is really nice. They have micarta, so it's not like this is the only option. And these are you can buy these, I think, Friday the 21st, April 21st. Next is a knife that's not so great. This is the CRKT Jake. Now, the Jake, when I first opened it up, I was like, holy cow, did CRKT do a good knife? Is it possible they did a manual good knife? Well, no, it's not. It's not. Two things. One, right when I opened it up, I squeezed it, and I was like, whoa. I started looking around, like, what is going on? I'm checking the clip. I squeezed it again. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I couldn't figure it out. Then I grab the scales were shifting like this. I mean, like really bad. Like, how is that? So I did take these screws out, take this inlay off, and I tightened it back up. And it's fine now. It's not shifting anymore. But, you know, it's just the point. Aluminum handles with this FRN inlays. It's very, very lightweight. Good looking clip. It's inset with flat screws. Good access to the lock bar. So this has an inset liner. So it is aluminum scales with the FRN inlays. And then this liner is screwed into the aluminum scales. You know, which is a cool way to do it. Kind of like a sub frame lock, but it's a sub liner lock. But here's the next bad thing. And this is the worst part about it, because I was able to fix the other one. No detent at all. I mean, this is on a ridiculous level. Like, I can look at this. I can reverse flick this thing. I shouldn't be able to reverse flick or thumb flick this thing like that easily. Like, look at this. It is no detent. Like, even if I just try to pull down and light switch it, no detent. I mean, it's dangerously no detent. So, you know, all they had to do was make a stronger detent. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, Jared, don't you always say you could just tune your own detents? Yeah. So that's an argument, but not everybody else does, or can, or will, or is willing. So while I can take this thing apart and tune this detent, I also don't know how the detent feels like it's also small. So, because the tension of the lock bar doesn't feel soft, you know, and this is a little bit saw-like. I kind of wish it was a little bit softer, but I mean, it's fine. It's not that big of a deal, but you're not. It gives you a little bit of access, but because of the teeth, you're more pushing in and then over like that, rather than going from the side like that. So I wish that was a little bit more comfortable. I wish the detent was stronger. Blade shape ergos are great, fantastic. So they have a lot going on here. Like, there's a lot of great here, but you know, it's just the negatives are, you know, it came with loose hardware, which is crazy. But let's say that happened from shipping, right? Because going through shipping, in some cases, these knives are traveling through very hot, cold, crazy, humid places that just make the parts expand and contract, expand and contract. Okay, I can live with that because that's happened a lot. I've seen that a lot. But this detent is unacceptable. I don't know how this could ever leave a factory like this. You can't say that the hardware expanded and whoops. You can't say that is, you know, something that happened other than them letting it leave the factory that way. Anyways, internal stop pins, I do like that. Lockup is mostly solid. I get a little bit of right and left, but anyways, I think it's a cool knife. I do like it. I love the look of it. I think it has a cool look. It almost looks like it has a hand satin finish, but I'm sure it's not. Ergonomics are great, but in the flipper tab could be a good flipper tab, you know, and even though it has a light detent, I can get it out there. You just got to, like, you know, really, you know, snap and you'll get it. So if you're the type of person that likes a light detent, this might be up your alley. So there you guys go. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time, peace.